World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
This is Kia Rogers, and you're listening to Urbanology with my dad, Tony Rogers, on WHCR 90.3 FM New York.
Hey, what's happening?
Good afternoon. This is Tony Rogers, your host for Urbanology, The Art of War. And for many of you who do not know, my given birth name was William Anthony Rogers. So it's kind of a play on words, even though I am a student of Sun Tzu, studied The Art of War, and still teach it in many cases and write about it. This is an exciting show today because I have an opportunity to introduce a person that I've known for many, many years, back at City College. You know, that's a long time ago. We were just talking off screen how he, James Smalls, and Dr. Jeffries, and a number of others used to practice martial arts in the student lounge at City College many, many years ago. So he has grown into a major artist, producer. He has a number of martial arts films. He's done stunt work for some of the big stars, and started out as a bodyguard like Van Dissel. And he was just talking about some stories about that, and Wesley Snipes and a number of others. But he has a new movie coming out, Blood Mix, which will be out in October, I believe. So I wanted to bring him on to share some of his experiences. One of the great things with Soul City is a platform where we can begin to bring on our own and promote our own on a national and international stage. And these are the things that is important as relates to supporting Black media. So I would like for you to meet a good friend, a brother, been around for a long time in the martial arts and in other areas, business person. Mahalia is known in many cases as Professor Mo or Sensei Mo, and a brother who has done a lot of stuff, quietly, and plus he's a handsome guy. All the ladies used to like to, come out and see him because he's a, handsome. Like he's a little younger than me, but I always like to tease him. But nevertheless, this is a brother that I'm proud of. He's done a lot of stuff. He still teaches young people. He still teaches, even though he's in the movie business and doing other things. So Mahalia, Master Mo. I'm a Master Mo too. When I went to Korea, my name that was given to me once I became a master was Mo. So they used to laugh. Which Master Mo? You. But how you doing, brother? Thanks for coming on.
Excellent. It's all good. I'm a granddad today, so I'm good.
Oh, today.
Yeah, today.
Congratulations, brother. I just know that your son, and he looks like a young guy, but his son just got his PhD not long ago. But blacks don't crack. We
keep it in the family.
Yeah. But congratulations, my brother. I'm
Thank
glad
you.
to hear that. So tell us, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into the movie. Some of the things we were talking about, how you got into martial arts, some of the people you've been working with, and all of that, so that when people get a good feel of who you are, and then we'll talk about the movie.
I started
movies, I should say.
I started martial arts, early, like 10 years old. First thing I learned was the 52 blocks that was on the street. I wanted to get an official martial arts, so then I started training in Taekwondo with Sensei Mo. And later on, I went on to train with Master Dinkins in Taekwondo, and then Reno Morales, Reno and Shotokan.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I found Professor V. I'm a longtime student of Professor V. And in adding to that, Henzo Gracie in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Master San in Muay Thai.
I saw the film with Gracie, you and Gracie.
Yeah. And I've traveled to Thailand. So I've done a lot of training in the martial arts. A lot of years. One of my favorite books is Carry Water, Chop Wood. Chop wood, carry water. You know what I mean? And that's what I did for years and years and years. In Krav Maga, so all of these different kinds of martial arts.
And Lamar Thornton, don't forget about our brother from Harlem.
Lamar's not my instructor.
I know.
He's
he
a
was
very
just a
good
friend
of mine. Yeah, definitely. Very good friend of mine. And I've worked with, we were talking about Wesley Snipes and how Wesley Snipes told me he was going to be a big star and said he was going to come back for me. And I said, man, this dude is cocky. And he came back for me.
From City College.
Right.
Smalls,
when he used to go up to City College. And he came back for me. And then after that, when I stopped working with Wesley, I started doing a lot of stunts for other people. And then I did this movie called The One because Jet Li had heard about me and asked for me to come in and do The One. Tony, I was scared. I was like, this is Jet Li. No. I was like, I'm not good enough, right? And I have to give praise to all of it because, I learned from the 5 boroughs, guys in Brooklyn, guys in the Bronx, guys in wherever I could learn. And, but these guys are such great martial artists, which a lot of them, that I'm here with Jet Li, and I knew it wasn't, me. It was being around these guys and learning from these particular movements. So Corey Young liked me, and Corey Young wanted me to be in another movie. They wanted to go with a black guy, and they wanted to be in this movie. Guess what this movie was? The Transporter. So I'm supposed to be in a transporter, and we get ready. It gets ready to go because you said I was a handsome guy, right? So then I was a
No, you
handsome guy.
said it.
Yeah, then
Yeah, but yeah,
I was a handsome guy
yeah,
for real. Then I'm an older guy now. I'm a grandpa
yeah,
today.
you still, yeah.
But
Well,
before I
that's all
was a
right.
grandpa, you know, and there was a guy who was on the set with us, Jason Statham. He wanted to fight Jet Li, he wanted to be involved, and it's so funny how you can be kind of egotistical. I was like, who is this guy? And check his credentials. He's just an enthusiastic actor. So finally, they don't tell you anything, but then the transporter comes out because my agent called a couple of times, like, what's going on with the movie? Nothing. Transporter comes out, and I'm destroyed because I'm like, I'm gonna get a transporter. I'm showing the script and shit. Excuse my language. And then all of a sudden, I didn't get it. But one of my students, Isaac Hayes, who I was teaching privately,
Mhm.
Isaac Hayes says to me, Mahaliel, you should do your own film. Don't you have a script? I said, yeah. He said, though, so do the movie. So I won't do the movie unless you are willing to get in the movie. Because I needed him to co-sign it for me.
Mhm.
He said, if you start the production, I will be there. And certainly he was there. So he played the master teacher. And I
Mhm.
went on and I produced and wrote, produced, directed this movie called The Empty Hands. So
Mhm.
that was crazy how everything was going on. So I did The Empty Hands. And then later on, more than a few years later, I started working. Are you there?
Yeah, you were
Okay.
just putting you on the screen here
Oh,
so
no
we
problem.
can see you.
I, I, I started working on this film called Love, Sex, and Kung Fu. That's going to be on Netflix.
Mhm.
And The Empty Hands is on Amazon, but it's going to go to Tubi because that's probably the last film that Isaac Hayes did. I don't want to, I can't say that, but
Mhm.
it's around the last film that he did. So that will go on Tubi, and the other one will be going to Netflix. And right now, we have the film Blood Mix, which I'm extremely excited about. And it's supposed to be coming out the end of October. But everything with COVID is crazy. We were supposed to have the red carpet, which you are invited to
Mhm.
at the Magic Johnson Theater. But now because of what's going on, they don't know. I called them and I said, "Well, what's the rules?" And they said, "Well, we're gonna follow the
The
mandate.
CDC.
Yeah, we're gonna follow the mandate, but we don't know what that is. You don't know what that is. We can't do business with you not knowing what it is." So I said, "Okay, we're gonna hold back and wait for this stuff to clear." But I really, really want to have a red carpet for it in Harlem. I already
Mhm.
had one in the Village at the Village Cinema, but I really would love to have one in Harlem. Sorry,
Mhm. And
you
one of the
there?
things too, yeah, we with you. One of the things, and we'll talk about this, Soul City TV. That's one of the features we feature movies on our network. So this may be the beginning of another outlet for distribution. So
Yeah, yeah. I love the fact that you guys are doing this. This is needed. Soul
yeah,
City TV.
and it's the only really fully black network that has this Verizon platform as a foundation, and is in all of the on demand channels and the like. So uh, as we grow, we want to bring at least that's why I have this show is Urbanology, bringing all of the people like yourself that I came up with, and young. I may be a little older than you, but
Yeah.
you are part of that family.
Mhm.
So now that we have a platform, it's an opportunity. If you don't promote your own, you can't be upset if somebody else that don't look like you don't want to put you before their own. I mean,
Agreed. A
that's
hundred
that
percent. 100%
you know
agreed.
So when Matt about 3 years ago told me what he was doing and the licensing and all of that stuff, I said, I'm down. Because I already, deal with the newspaper. My cousin's a publisher of the Harlem Community News, and WACR. Well, that's our radio station, but since the COVID came, we couldn't get into the station. So, that's the beauty of Soul City. So now I do a remote. Right now, as we're talking, my pre-recorded radio show is playing. We're doing a piece about uh, uh, domestic violence. There's a major event that's going to take place on Saturday at the State Office Building about that. But tell us about your movie. Tell us what the theme is, how people can get to it. Let's talk a little bit about that.
No, Blood Mix is a horror film. Blood Mix is a horror film. I am a martial arts fan, but I'm also a horror fan. And
so Halloween was right. Was good timing, right?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't. It's not by accident. But I really love also the Excalibur type series. I like that, those kinds of series. But I always wondered, I said, how come with all the stress and all the situations that our people have been historically, we never made a deal? So what happened with Blood Mix is, like I was looking at one of my favorite TV series about this immortal who lives forever and never dies. What happens with that guy is, they come in and they kill his wife, they rape his wife, they kill her, they steal the children, they burn the house. And what does he do? He goes and he says, Odin, give me the power to live forever so I can destroy my enemy once and for all and destroy him and destroy his blood. He makes a deal. So I said, how come black people don't never make a deal? You done been through slavery, you done been through all this trash, and you never made a deal. So what I did, what Blood Mix is about a 356-year-old slave who made a deal. His mother actually made a deal.
And Sensei Mo, Dion is on, so we want to bring him on so that he can be a part of.
Dean, yes, bring him on.
Dean. Uh-huh. So Dean, I got a message. You're in the backstage, Matt. So if he is, he can come on when he's ready. But go ahead, finish. Oh, here he is.
So, what up, Dean?
What's going on?
So introduce Dean.
Dean is my brother in the movie. Through years and years, we have the same bloodline. So Dean plays that character. You have some no, okay. Dean is that character.
There's some feedback coming from someplace.
Great grandfather was the slave master from the plantation that my mother came from.
There's a feedback coming from someplace.
I think it's coming from Dean. Dean's got some stuff on. It's off now. You got it off now, Dean?
I believe so.
Cool.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So Dean is the
So Dean was your, so say that again so that I could.
He's my brother in the movie. He's like the last of his generation. He is the great grandson of the slave owner on the plantation. And this is modern times now. He's a lawyer and walking around. He doesn't know what's going on, but he just got this black dude chasing around, killing everybody around. He's going, what's going on? And this black dude goes, I'm gonna spare you, but all these people around you gotta go. So it has a lot of martial arts, a lot of fighting, a lot of gunplay. I think some of the locations that I was able to find are beautiful, top notch, and a lot of great actors like like Dean is involved. So anyway, what I was saying about the mother prays to Ogun. Ogun is an African god, and he's the god of technology. She prays to Ogun for 40 years. Finally, with around 40 years, her son is endowed with being an immortal, living forever. But it's not all what it's cracked up to be. He's angry. He wants to die. He doesn't know why he's here. He can't die. He's pissed off. And he's kind of like beating up and killing a lot of people in the movie. So there's a lot of action and horror, history. As you know, I'm a history buff, especially hanging out with Dr. Jeffries.
With Dr. Jeffries, how can you not be?
Dr.
And James Walls.
So there's a lot of really good history in there. But the bottom line for me, it was like, you know, because I like these movies so much, I said, why we got to make a deal? Well, when we make a deal, how come we never made a deal? So I had to say I had to do that because a lot of these movies you see, when you see immortals, except for vampires, but if you watch horror films or those kinds of films, there's always something tragic that happened that made the character make a deal with their mythological god, and they're endowed after that to live forever. But then it never happened.
So who did you make the deal with?
His mama made the deal. See, there's the movie that you wrote, the movie you filmed, and the movie you edited. When I wrote it, it was he made a deal. But as we got on and we saw this, you know, the mother and all these people, we decided, why couldn't his mother make the deal for him? Because it says his mother came to the United States at 11 years old. By the time she was 13, she was pregnant with JMC. The character's name is Jeremiah. And she feared for JMC because, you know, he came out a little brown, and she feared for him because he wasn't in the house. So she prayed for 40 years for him to survive. And who did she pray to? Another thing we never talk about is that black people that came from America had gods too. You know? So what God did they pray to? They had to pray to somebody, you know. Like Dean is Greek. Yeah, they got a bunch of gods. The Greeks got a bunch of gods. so Dean,
and the Greeks got it from, you know, Egypt, you know that.
That's right. So, and they got a bunch of them. That's why they're so close to them.
So Dean, tell us a little bit about your acting and how you got into the film.
So originally, I was coming out of a gig actually in Harlem, and my friend Prince, who's now my friend, I went up to him and somehow we got talking, and he said, well, I might call you if I ever need an actor or whatever. So long story short, he calls me to audition for Blood Mix. So that's how I actually got involved with this film. So I went in, audition. I remember when I walked in, Sensei was kind of looking at me. He's like, well, all right, you look a little green around the edges. You'll do. So it was just really cool. And I guess ended up getting the role and just worked really hard. By the way, thank you so much for having me on your show, sir.
Sure. I mean, you know, how we operate is that if you're close to Master Mo, you're close to me, you know. So, you know, that's the family thing, you know. So you already vetted, you know, when he said, this is my man.
Oh, yeah. And let me tell you, Dean is a hard worker. You know, when Dean came in, you know, because a lot of people look at me as a martial arts jock. People don't know that I had a theater company. They don't know that. They don't know that I've been in theater all these years. So they don't have any idea. So I had Dean came in. I said, he was a little green. And we shot him. I thought it was good. I said, yeah, man, you know, it was good. I said, well, you want to look at it? I think you can do better. And instead of him going, how dare you? I'm an actor. He goes, really? You give me another chance? Sure. I'll shoot you again. So we set up something, shot him again. So then after we shot him, we had the red carpet, and it was a great performance. But I said, hey man, I think you can have an even better performance. I just want you to do a couple little things different here and there, if you want. Now, if he didn't want to do it, I'd have kept what I had. Like what I said, Tony, what I had was fine. I said, but you know what? I can get a little more out of you because I'm going to light that room again to do something over, and I'll shoot you. This guy came no problem. And a lot of you people that want to be actors, we started filming at 5. We may not get to you until 2 in the morning. So a lot of people say they want to act. They don't know that it's not easy. And chop, chop, baby, it's 2 in the morning, but you got to act like it's 8 p.m. And, you know, and just the great. He's also the musical director for the film as well.
Okay.
When I found out he had music and he could play the drums and he can do that, I said, hey man, let me give you this scene. Do some music to me. Let's see how that works. So I always believe the ancestors are putting the right pieces around me.
Well, it seems that's the case. What's next, man? Where do you want to go from here? You know, you got a movie that's coming out, but you know, I know you like to, you know, visionary. You like to look at things and put certain type of manifestations in order.
Actually, I don't know if you know, I'm a union producer, so I'm a SAG producer. So actually, I have about 2 other movies that are waiting to be done, and actors who are waiting to do those movies. So, but I want to keep my focus on Blood Mix first. You know, we put a lot of stuff in the Blood Mix during the pandemic. We changed some of the stuff to fit the pandemic. We said let's bring this the pandemic to the movie since we're going to release it so far in the pandemic's here. So we reshot that scene. We already had a scene, but you know, I had to get the N9 mask and stuff that let people know. It's called an Easter egg. We don't tell you it's the pandemic, but when you see the N9 mask, where do people go? They're going to associate that with the pandemic. So we did that and we shot that over. And again, guys like Dean come in. I say, hey man, I need you to wear black. I'm gonna put a hoodie on you. I'm gonna put a mask on you. I need you to stay here for the next 6 hours. Dean, you can tell him. You can confirm.
Yes, sir. 100%.
It'll be at 6 in the morning. We'll be done. We'll be done by 1 o'clock. Let's go. So you know, and we reshot it, and it's fantastic.
Now, is Blood Mix? Because I saw some of the Instagram stuff under the 12th Avenue area. You were doing some things over there.
Oh yeah,
Was that Blood Mix or another movie?
Yes, that's it, and that's an interesting story. I should have sent you the video, which I will send to you another time. So we are shooting Blood Mix. All these actors out here and stunt guys happen to be, you know, I teach a lot of police officers. I teach a lot of, you know, correction officers, and they all these guys want to be stunt guys. You know, they want to be stunt guys. So I got all these stunt guys out here, and one of my friends, one of the guys who I know, who's trained with Samuel Hung, been in Hong Kong. He's the only black dude to fly out to China, not knowing the language, but he says, I love Kung Fu movies so much, I'm going to get in these movies. And so now he's a big time director. So he, you know, he calls me, checks on me. And Rob calls me and he goes, hey man, what's going on? How you doing? I said, hey man, I'm getting ready to shoot this weekend. I'm going to shoot at 8 o'clock, 12th Avenue. I'm going to shoot there. He says, yeah, well, I'm directing this film called Made in Chinatown, right? I said, all right, no problem. Good. He said, look, I'm getting paid for that film. I'm making money. I said, yeah. He said, but I can come in and we can do a fight scene. I said, we haven't rehearsed. He said, we don't need no rehearsal. I'm gonna come in, we're gonna do something and we'll shoot it. He said, what time does your set start? I said, well, we'll be up at 8:00. He said, no problem. I'll be there. But I got to be out by 11 because I have to be on the set. So we get there. The officers who were assigned, because we had gunplay. So, of course, I had to get all the licensing, and nobody knows better about that stuff than Tony. So, so you know what I had to do. I had to get permission from the mayor, the whole nine. Cop pulls up. He goes, so we're rehearsing. He goes, you started without us, huh? So I look and I see that, the side of his vehicle says TV and commercial. I said, so you're here for me, right? Let me show you the permit. He goes, you started without us. You know you can go to jail, right? I go, what? He said, yeah, we can lock you up. I said, really? So I have my AD come in. My AD comes. He gives me the permit. I said, maybe you should try to come to work on time. You're late. You're a half hour late. And you're offering me jail. With all this, you know what I'm saying? All the stuff going on, that's the direction you want to take this. Let's offer the director of the film jail. I was pissed for the rest of the day. I was tight. And then he came over there and he talked to my armor. He asked me about the guns we have. And I said, I have an armor guy for that. Is this the first time that you've been on a movie set? There's an armor person for that. You talk to him. He's at the end of the block. Then he asked me some other ridiculous questions. And I said, look, listen to me. I don't want you speaking to anyone on my set. You will speak to my production manager, who's Prince. You will speak to my production manager and no one else on this set. So the stunt guys are rehearsing across the street and we're going through the fight scene on the other side. So he goes across the street. He says, yo, you guys can't rehearse there. You're blocking traffic. And I go to this guy and I go, dude, can you read a permit? The permit says we have control of the sidewalks with an S. What we don't have is control of the street. Do your job. And I already said to you, do not speak to anyone in my cast. So you got me on a tangent now because that was one of the worst days for me that pissed me off to the 29th power because the money, I spent more money on that day than any day of shooting the film. To shoot outside with firearms, trailers, armored people. And the police officer says, so I talked to I had the captain from one of the CEOs from the precinct come and on the 28th precinct, he came and, I introduced him to the captain and they saluted. And I said to him, I said, I didn't tell the captain what an asshole you are. That was my one victory. I didn't tell him what an asshole you were. So,
well, that happens, but and plus when you're in Harlem, man, you need to contact me with the chamber. All of the police departments, all of the precincts. We work with them. We work with the commissioner. We just did something with the commissioner at the Apollo. Gave him an award. He and Rodney.
Well, I had 6 cops there. I had 6 cops who were in the movie who were there. Mm-hmm. 6 of them were police officers. I had the captain because I had dinner with him, and we went. Said, "Yo, man, I'm shooting." He says, "I want to come on the set." So he came a little later, but it was like, and I was working through the mayor's office, and the mayor said, "Well, the office said we're going to send the police and the fire." And this was the result that I got from this guy. Just they. I said, you need to be
Well,
retrained, reassigned. They said what they do is, when I asked one of my best friend, who's a police officer, Julio, I said, Julio, what's up with this guy? He said, they give these guys those kind of jobs because they don't know how to control themselves. I said, oh, great, great.
So listen, you mentioned before one of the first things you learned was the 42 blocks. You had a film about that too.
The 52 blocks.
52
Yeah.
blocks, I mean. I missed 10. Maybe that's why I kept getting hit.
Yeah, you missed that 10.
Right. Didn't you do something about that? Didn't you have some sort of
Yeah, I had a DVD,
Yeah.
I was on the cover of Black Belt magazine with that, and the 52 blocks has not been recognized as a martial arts, even though we all know, especially people from urban environments, everybody knows about the 52 blocks, but it still hasn't been recognized as a martial arts. And what I've been doing over the past decade is trying to get it to be recognized as a martial arts. Because of my background in other martial arts, Krav Maga, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Vietnamese Jiu-Jitsu, Shotokan Karate, Muay Thai, because I have that kind of background, I believe I was able to have a voice. And in having that voice, I use my voice to try to convince other people about the 52 blocks and be seeing it as a martial art. Because people use it, but they don't claim it. I didn't want to claim it initially. It was actually Reno Morales who told me to make the DVD. And I didn't want to claim it because I just felt that it would interfere. Because people don't deal with the 52 block from its African perspective. A lot of people deal with it from a prison perspective. Well, that's counterproductive to the way I live. So he said, well, you need to tell people that. You need to show people that. You need to teach people that the 52 blocks is an Afrocentric martial arts. But it went to jail. So a lot of people, yeah, it's jail. No, it's not. No, it's not, And then people always want to have a very negative narrative. And I try to tell people, look, I know a lot of guys that teach ninjutsu. You know what ninjas are? Ninjas are assassins. But all my ninjutsu friends don't talk about how they killed the local barber or the guy from the cleaners because he said something they didn't like. The ninjas got Ninja Turtles. They got Surf Ninjas, Ninja Fun, Ninja Athletics. So it's how you twist and where you want to go with it.
I was just watching Hidden Colors. I think it's the 3rd edition of Hidden Colors, where they say that the ninjas were basically had black African ancestry, some of the beginning parts of ninja training. So I thought that was interesting. Well, I did know that the martial arts came out of Africa, went into India, and then went, into
That's a fact.
When I trained, in Korea, in the mountains, we were going to places and you could see some of the temples that they were clearly, big nose, big lips.
Right. They were clearly who you thought they were.
Right.
They are who you think they were.
Well, there's a story, brothers, when I was, a little older, when brothers first went over to Vietnam, they didn't shoot, the Vietnamese didn't shoot them
my brother
because they thought that they were gods.
Buddha, my brother told me that.
Their temples were black. So at first they didn't until the brothers started shooting back at them, and then they kind of figured that out. But at first they looked at them differently.
My brother told me that Ho Chi Minh had to re-educate them and let them know that they're not gods. They're not gods. They're shooting at you.
You better shoot back. But they, there was a lot of.
That's another reason why they would always put us on point.
Yeah,
they would always have you on point.
And the art of war, the art of war, that's Ho Chi Minh. That's how I first learned about the art of war, because Ho Chi Minh, I actually had it in my book about the art of war, where Ho Chi Minh said, I'm defeating the imperialists by using the art of war. That's when the United States started dealing with the art of war and putting it into like the SEALs and the Rangers, that type of understanding about how a few can deal with a lot just by creating a situation where you use strategy. And that's the whole idea of the art of war, which is part of my show. The art of war is strategic planning. If you use strategy, you can do a lot. Sun Tzu was a bad guy, man. He said, if you're in a situation where if generals are at the battle line with their swords, somebody's not doing nothing right. Because you're supposed to be able to, learn how, what it is, win without fighting. I learned, our good friend, we got to do something about Abdul Musawir, because he, as you know, he passed recently.
I know.
And that was part of some of the things when I was studying with him in Tai Chi, he was saying, less is better, man. You don't go through all of that stuff. You win without fighting. And that's why in business and a lot of that stuff, you realize how emotions and all of those things can be used as tools, and if you don't understand that, somebody's going to use you. If I know I can get you mad by saying certain things and I don't want to deal with you, I say those certain things, and then you go in off,
poke the bear.
I got you. Yeah,
they start poking the bear.
So you don't know then exactly when you're going to do your release at this point, or
no, we're looking in the end of October, and then we'll release it right after that.
Right.
But again, there's a lot of ambiguity with the way things are going right now.
Yeah, as far as having some sort of an opening. But at this point, I would also like to make sure that Matt is out of the country, but even though with technology we'll never know it because we're still on. I was saying,
exactly.
Matt, you're not going to be here. How am I going to do the show? He said, "That's all right, brother. I got you." And but that's the beautiful thing about technology. And as you know, many people always have a different understanding. When you talk about the martial arts, they think it's about, kicking somebody's butt, but the idea of how you grow internally, how your mind, body, and spirit is able to become more focused. And it's not really about, matter of fact, most of the people that I know, and I'm sure you know too, who are in the martial arts, never really fight. Which is why I started.
That's an answer. Sandy just said, what were the benefits to the martial arts for young people? That's what you would answer to them in that question, because I think as a kid I walked away from a lot of battles because I could. A lot of times,
which is why I started. I didn't like to fight, and as a young black man in Harlem, I had to question that because I said, well, something maybe, am I scared? Am I a punk? I did other things. Matter of fact, I was the only child. So, to keep people off of me, I just act like I was crazy. So they didn't mess with me because they said, well, you never know what he's going to do. He might get on the roof and throw a garbage can on you or something.
Crazy Tony.
So I didn't have brothers and sisters, so I had to act like I was crazy. If you mess with me, I was like the Hulk. I'm quiet and what have you. But if you mess with me, you go, something's going to happen. And that something scared me. So I said, so I went to Leon Wallace. Leon Wallace, who was, for me, one of the greatest martial art teachers, that came out. Well, he was past Harlem, but he was the Harlem guy. He didn't charge you. You can make a donate. But you had to train. You may not have to pay.
Train like a
cash. Oh yeah, people. His white belts used to. When I was a white belt, I used to fight black belts because by the time he finished with the exercise, people were ready to go home. You know, you did 2 hours of exercise. They said, okay, now we go spar. And people said, what? Spar? You know, you damn near killed me. Now I'm not gonna spar. So,
Well, then you had a choice.
that's where I came up from. Right.
Well, you had a choice.
And,
you can go to those commercial places and get
that's
your
why people didn't
45 minutes of garbage.
Right. That's why people didn't like Leon Wallace, because, you know, he had the Jeff Knowles, Sam McGee, and it was free. And he beat his students is beating everybody that's paying $45 an hour. You know. So, but things like this is important for young people to understand. Even though we see all of the kicking and punching and all of that stuff, the true martial arts, well, actually the true martial arts is healing. That's how I got into the healing component of it, because the healing component is what really was the foundation of a martial art. A true master is not a killer, it's a healer. You know, because you have to understand the same points that you use in order to hurt someone, you can also use those in order to heal them. And you know, and that unfortunately was not, you know, because show business, you know, Hollywood and all of that type of stuff. And so with young people, to go to a school is not to win a trophy, not to get a black belt. That's not, you want to go in order to build your internal understanding of self. And once you do that, you can do anything. You can be a producer. You can be, you can do all of those things because you understand that, you're the only person that's in your way is you usually, and if you can move yourself out the way, you can do a lot of different things. But anyway, I'm just happy to have you guys on. I want to talk a little bit more about how people might be able, because you still sometimes teach private lessons. Since if someone wants,
I only teach privates now.
But if someone needed to reach you, if they wanted to reach you for anything, is there a way that they can contact you?
Yeah, they can. My number. Anybody can text me.
What would be that?
646-373-7804.
Right. And you're a brave man giving out your number.
Yeah, I have nothing to hide. That's the number. Because if anybody comes at me, I bring my sword out. I'll chop your head off. It'll come at me right.
Now, I just gave this whole big thing about peace, the art of war is peace.
Yeah, but you know what? The art of war is peace, but you can't allow people, especially now, people are very mean-spirited and everybody knows everything. And sometimes you have to straighten people out when they're going in the wrong way, and they need to be chastised correctly. I don't have that problem often, so most people are pretty good. They call me, hey, professor, I want to learn martial arts. I want to know. I direct them to other places to train with instructors and people that they can train with. But right now, I'm only doing privates because everything right now is about the movie. I'd like you to ask Dean a little bit about his approach to making music for the movie, because he has a very interesting approach as far as how he wanted to go about watching scene by scene and actually making the music for them.
So actually being physically on set was really helpful. And then also actually going down through the edited scenes and then accenting where it needs to accent and movement. Too. And the tempo, rhythm, I mean, really where it's going to go. It's not crazy complicated. It's, pretty basic 1-4-5, but the energy's there, everything's there, the drums are there. So it's just trying to not, you want to end the scene, but you don't want to take from the scene. So I tried to put as much time in as I could without, I had to take some parts out because I didn't want it to be, it's got to accent the scene. It's almost like you're jamming with the martial artists, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because
they're dancing. It's just like,
you're all in the orchestra together,
Mhm.
my part is just different. Like, so everyone's the orchestra, but the feature is obviously what's going on in the
Yeah.
scene. You're trying to accent it and keep it moving.
Hmm.
That's
Well,
what I was going for.
is
So
this the first time you've put music to
this
a
is
screenplays?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
thank you to Sensei Mo for giving me that opportunity. I was very happy when he liked what I did. Uh,
Mhm.
put a lot of work into it for sure.
How did you get into the music piece? I mean, is that something that you studied for a while, or how?
So actually, I was a jazz drummer for a long time and worked with some
Mhm.
people. I did music promotions for a lot of the record labels and has had some successes with that.
Mhm.
So I've always been around it, and the opportunity came. I said yes, and I was very grateful for it, and very grateful to Sensei Mo for having me too as an actor and everything too.
Mhm.
So a lot of opportunities. So I'm very
So you
grateful.
was able to combine your acting and your music abilities. Are you a martial artist? Have you studied martial arts?
Not nowhere near where I should be. You have like world class champions.
I,
Sensei Ezra, I'm like, oh God, I couldn't,
I
like,
don't mean to laugh so
great.
hard, but
No.
I had MMA world champion Liam McGarry's in the movie,
Uh-huh.
five-time MMA world champion Shawnee Carter's in the movie. So the class of guys that he's seen in the movie are so on a high martial arts level to ask, even if you're a martial artist, like
Oh goodness, no, yeah, no.
people on the set like this. And my wife is like, oh my God, what's going on? To watch us in a fight scene. So, that's why I'm laughing, because he's gotten a chance to see some of the best guys. Like Liam McGarry had just won the Bellator World Championship. Just
Hmm.
won it. Next thing you know, you see him, he's on the set. And
Well,
little John Davis was
Lil Jon Davis.
yeah, the Grand Master was there as an advisor, so he's around all
That
of these
goes back
guys.
to my time, man.
Yeah. So I brought Little John in just to work with the actors, and he's a legend, so
Yeah.
he was on the set working with this guy. So I gotta say, Dean, you were so lucky to be around the best dudes.
Yes, sir.
I was calling in favors, Tony. I was like, yo, come on, man, we go back. I need you to come out and do this thing for me.
Well, again, we're going to look forward to it. Then you were going to say something.
The scenes in this film are just unbelievable. Like top greatest people in the world, just sitting there watching you. You'll be blown away.
And and again, if all things are equal, we would like to see what we can work out with having some of your movies, even this one on Soul City, because that's what we're doing. Trying to create
And can
our
we put
own.
trailers on Soul City?
Well, we're going to talk with Matt.
Y'all
Matter of
talk
fact,
to Matt.
it would have been great if we could have had a trailer for the show, but it happened so fast, that I ran into you in the street. And I said, hey man, and you told me, hey man, I'm doing the opening, you got to come to the opening. And then
And you said, are you ready Tuesday? I said, Tuesday, this Tuesday? You said, yeah. I said, that was 4 days ago.
But and Matt said it's a done deal, so so there may be some things that we can start to do. That's how life is, That's how we work it out, and we can do some marketing, with the newspaper and some of the other pieces too. Once we start to get out there, because that's my area of focus, and it's good to see us making sure that we can do the things that we want to do and not have to feel that we are, trying to find a way to do it on somebody else's dime. We can do it on our own, We could just like
Gotta stop doing
you
that.
said just like you said that Isaac Hayes said. If do it yourself.
Do your own movie,
Right?
Malia.
Do it yourself, and
And he was
those
very
are the things.
cavalier about it. Like, what are you talking about?
But again, Mahalia, Professor Mo, Sensei Mo, my brother, thank you for taking some time. Congratulations, you're a granddad now, and Dean. Thanks for coming on. Look forward to seeing. When I was looking at you, you probably could make a real good vampire too, man. You got that look. I'll put some teeth on you, man.
Right? See?
you might
Casting already.
So that might be another piece.
The makeup artist, I fired the makeup artist one night. I just fired her. And I went there and I took the blood. I keep my own kit. And I did his makeup for him. And he was like, "You can do makeup too?" Yeah. Yeah, I can do makeup. Because, when you're in school, theater, you have to learn how to do makeup. A lot of people don't know. Film actors get makeup artists. Stage actors, we do our own makeup. So I did all his blood, and the blood's coming on. He's like, "I can't believe this, that you did my makeup too." I said, yeah. And she's terminated, fired.
Well, anyway, we'll look, and the movie Blood Mix, a horror movie, martial arts, and it's interesting, coming out around Halloween. So that sounds pretty good, and we'll talk. Matter of fact, we might even do something special on Soul City TV. So that would be great. Thank you, brothers. I appreciate you coming on. Looking forward to see the movie. Please send some clips. Maybe we can run some, but
I will, definitely. I was inspired by Highlander. That's what I meant to tell you.
Yeah,
Not
Highlander.
Highlander, not Excalibur. Highlander. Right. They making deals. I want to make a deal too.
Okay. Take care, brothers. And thank you, Matt McCoy, for giving us this platform. Even though you're out of the country, brother, you're so deep. I said, well, you can't do it. You got to be out of the country. He says, nah, man, technology.
Yeah,
don't make technology. No place where I have.
How to get
technology
it done.
is all over the place. So
that's
great.
You know how to get it done.
Okay, take care. Thanks for coming on, and we'll be seeing you and actually at HTB website, Facebook page. We're going to have this up for a while so people can see it and know that this is coming. When you get your date for distribution and all of that stuff, let us know.
I'll come back.
And we'll put something in the newspaper. You should get a budget so you can go into our newspaper, Harlem Community News, and then we'll do a story. But we'll work it out.
Excellent.
We got to help each other. Take care, my brother.
All right, bro. I'm gonna leave. I'm out.
Okay. See you, Dean. Thank you. And again, thank you, Matt, for doing this next week. Second Tuesday in October. It's hard to believe that we're going to be in October soon, but pretty soon it's going to be 2022. But nevertheless, that's going to be a good year. This is Tony Rogers, Urbanology Systems, signing off. I'll see you next week. Same here, same time. We're talking about business development in WBEs and the like. Take care. Signing off.
This is Kia Rogers, and you're listening to Urbanology with my dad, Tony Rogers, on WHCR 90.3 FM New York.